Hello everyone. I'm Hana, and welcome back to Hana's Japan Radio. Oh my gosh, okay, I am so happy you're here today because today's topic is one that is genuinely so close to my heart. I've been wanting to talk about this for so long and I kept pushing it back, and today is finally the day. We are talking about Shinto shrines. And not just here are the facts about Shinto shrines. No. We're talking about what it actually feels like. The everyday magic of it. The way it weaves into normal Japanese life in this quiet, beautiful way that I think a lot of people on the outside don't fully see. So, get comfortable. Maybe grab a drink. This is going to be a good one. Okay, so first, let me just set the scene a little bit. If you have never been to Japan, or maybe you visited once as a tourist and saw the famous shrines, like Fushimi Inari here in Kyoto, with all those thousands of torii gates going up the mountain, you might think of shrines as these big, grand, spectacular places. And yes, some of them absolutely are. But here's the thing that always surprises people when I tell them, there are approximately 80,000 Shinto shrines in Japan. 80,000. Can you believe that? That's more shrines than there are convenience stores, and trust me, we have a lot of convenience stores. Haha, okay, so, what that means is that shrines are not just tourist destinations. They are just, everywhere. In neighborhoods. At the end of little alleyways. Tucked between apartment buildings. Sometimes just a tiny stone structure at the corner of a rice field. They are woven into the fabric of daily life in a way that is really hard to describe unless you've grown up with it. I grew up with it. And I want to share that with you today. So Shinto, let me explain a little. Shinto is Japan's oldest religion, or some people even say it's less of a religion and more of a way of being. A relationship with the world around you. The core idea is that there are spirits called kami, and kami can live in nature, in mountains, in rivers, in trees, in the wind, in certain special objects. Even in your ancestors. The shrines are basically homes for these kami. Places where humans and the spirit world can meet. And when you visit a shrine, you're not going to sit in a pew and listen to a sermon. You're going there to say hello, in a way. To be present. To express gratitude. Or to make a wish. Or sometimes just to feel something. I wonder if something like that exists in your country. That feeling of a sacred spot, a place where you just naturally lower your voice and breathe a little differently? Okay, so let me tell you about my Obeiken. My grandmother. She lived in a part of Kyoto called Nishiki, well, near there, and she had this small Shinto shrine literally around the corner from her house. 2 minutes walking. It was a neighborhood shrine, what we call a jinja, dedicated to a local kami who was said to protect the community. It wasn't famous. Tourists didn't line up to see it. But every single morning, my Obeiken would walk to that shrine. Every single morning. And she would clap her hands twice. That's part of the ritual, you clap twice to get the kami's attention, and she would bow, and she would just stand there for a moment. Quietly. And then she'd walk home and make breakfast. I used to stay with her in the summers when I was little, and I remember the first time she took me with her. I was maybe 5, 6. It was so early in the morning, and I was still half asleep, stumbling along in my little slippers, and the air smelled like that specific summer Kyoto morning smell, kind of cool still, with just a hint of incense somewhere far away. And we got to this small shrine, and there was this ancient camphor tree next to it, absolutely enormous, with a shimenawa, that's a thick braided rope, sacred rope, tied around its trunk. And I remember looking up at that tree and just feeling small. In a good way. You know? Like the world was so much bigger and older than me, and that was okay. That was beautiful. Mayo Bacon clapped her hands and bowed, and then she looked at me and said, Hana, say thank you. And I didn't really know what I was saying thank you to. But I bowed and I said thank you. And she smiled at me. And that moment, I still get goosebumps thinking about it. Really. Now, let's talk about some of the actual things you see at a shrine, because there's so much interesting stuff going on and every little thing has meaning. When you walk through the entrance of a shrine, you pass through what's called a torii gate. You know the image, that iconic red or orange gate shape that's become kind of a symbol of Japan all over the world. The torii marks the boundary between the ordinary world and the sacred space. The moment you step through a torii, you're crossing into somewhere different. And I genuinely feel that every time, even now as a 19-year-old who has walked through hundreds of torii gates in her life. There's a little shift inside me. A little settling. Then you walk up the path, often lined with stone lanterns, covered sometimes in moss, with big old trees on either side, and before you reach the main hall, you stop at the temazuya. This is a stone water basin, and there's a wooden ladle, and you rinse your hands. Your left hand first, then your right, and some people also rinse their mouths a little. This is about purification. You're cleaning yourself, not just physically, but symbolically, before you approach the kami. I love this part so much. Even in winter, when the water is absolutely freezing cold, there's something so grounding about it. It's like a reset button for your mind. And then you go to the main hall, the Hayden, and there's usually a big offering box, a suzenbako, where you toss in a coin. 5 yen coins are considered especially lucky because the Japanese word for 5 yen, goen, sounds like the word for connection or fate. Isn't that lovely? So many people specifically use 5 yen coins. Then you bow twice, clap twice, make your wish or say your prayer, bow once more, and that's it. It's simple. It's quiet. It takes maybe 2 minutes. But there's something incredibly powerful about it. Oh! I have to tell you about Emma. This is my favorite part of visiting shrines, okay well, one of my favorites. Emma are these small wooden plaques, usually in the shape of a little pentagon or sometimes a shape related to the shrine's theme, and you write your wish on them and hang them up at the shrine. The kami can read them. And if you ever stand in front of a wall of Emma at a busy shrine, wow! It is the most moving thing. People wishing for good health for their parents. Students wishing to pass their university entrance exams, oh, I have written so many of those, haha. People wishing for love, for healing, for someone they lost. All those little wishes just hanging there in the wind. The smell of cedar wood and incense mixing together. I cannot describe how it feels. It always makes my heart feel very full. And then there are omamori, these are little fabric charms, usually sewn into colorful little pouches, and they hold blessings inside. There are different omamori for different things, one for traffic safety, one for good health, one for love, one for academic success. A lot of students keep their academic success omamori in their school bag during exam season. My mom actually sent me one when I started high school, traffic safety, because I had just started riding my bicycle to school, and I kept it on my bag for the whole 3 years. I still have it, actually. It's a little faded now, but I don't have the heart to throw it away. Wait, I should explain, because I know some people wonder about this. In Shinto, omamori that are old should actually be returned to the shrine at the end of the year, or after you've had it for a few years, so the shrine can perform a ceremony to properly thank and release the kami inside. It's not like throwing it in the trash. It's more like returning it home. But my mom's one, yeah, that one I'm keeping. Sorry, kami. Haha. Let me tell you about one more memory before we wrap up, because I think it really captures what everyday Shinto spirituality actually looks like. When I was about 13, my family went to Yasaka Shrine here in Kyoto for New Year's, what we call Hatsumode, the first shrine visit of the year. And oh my gosh, the atmosphere, it was nighttime, so cold your breath was coming out in big white clouds, and there were food stalls everywhere, the smell of warm amazake, which is a sweet fermented rice drink, and grilled mochi, and those little fish-shaped cakes with red bean inside, and everyone was wearing coats and scarves and some people in beautiful kimono, and there were lanterns everywhere glowing orange in the dark. And I remember holding my dad's hand and feeling the crowd around us, all these people, hundreds of people, all walking in the same direction toward the same shrine, all there for the same reason. To start the new year with gratitude. To say to whatever is out there, I'm here, I'm grateful, please watch over us. That sense of community around something sacred. I think that's really the heart of it. It's not about being deeply religious in a doctrinal way. Most Japanese people would probably tell you they're not particularly religious. But they go to the shrine. They hang amma. They keep their omamori. They rinse their hands at the temazuya and they stand quietly for a moment in front of the kami. Because there's something in that ritual that connects us, to nature, to our ancestors, to our community, to something bigger than our daily worries and our to-do lists. Something ancient and alive at the same time. I think that's really beautiful. And I hope that wherever you are in the world right now, you have something like that too. A place or a practice that makes you pause, and breathe, and feel connected. Thank you so much for listening today. If you have a shrine near you that you love, or if you've ever visited one in Japan and it meant something to you, please come find me and tell me about it. I want to hear everything. And if you've never been, well, maybe one day. I hope you get to stand under an ancient camphor tree in the early morning and just look up. I'm Hana, and I'll see you in the next episode. Mata ni, see you soon. Take care of yourselves, okay? Bye bye.